And that's something that makes you rare. That's something that makes you powerful. That's something that makes you desirable. And that will give you more selection over time. And even if you can't go in and pluck that pretty girl out of that one scene because like she's the one that everybody wants and you want to be that hero guy, that cool, cool Fonzie or whatever who goes in and like takes us the situation. You don't want to, but what you can do though instead is you can recognize, okay, you've got a game going on inside of yourself and you can start to select in your mind that you deserve a beautiful girl, that you are going to attract a beautiful partner, that you're going to have a partner that's fulfilling to you and not just pretty on the outside, somebody who gives a shit about you, somebody that supports you, somebody that's a good person, somebody that has good values and good traits and good qualities for you in your life. And if you build that as an expectation, as a belief system, as a certain type of like request to your deeper mind, to the, to the world, then high probability is over time, you're going to find her. She's going to appear in the supermarket one day. She's going to just come and be the next person that is at your meetup, or the person who will, be at the coffee shop when you're ordering coffee and she's just sitting there wondering like, where's my guy? And then you're him. So that's a big part of it as well. Does that make some sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a lot of wisdom there. Really insightful response. So thank you, Shae. And yeah, I think there's a lot of men who, they want to be more confident, but they don't necessarily know how. And they'll be out in public and they'll see a beautiful woman and they'll be like, oh, I should approach her. I should chat to her. And if you hesitate, the moment you hesitate, you miss that opportunity and you can't go back once you let that opportunity go, because then it gets awkward and then she's going to come across as apprehensive and go, oh, what's this guy trying to do? Because you blew it. You didn't demonstrate your confidence. You just acted weak. So how do you help a guy, cross that, that terrain of being able to switch from being, worrying about what could go wrong to focusing on, hey, even if it doesn't go the way I want it, at least I gave it a go. And maybe I might get lucky,
Well, generally when a man is stuck in hesitation of taking action, it's because he doesn't have a feeling of permission. And where does permission come from? Well, permission can come from multiple different things, but permission generally comes from seeing and feeling that there is the ability to do something. So in many ways, like permission is a sense of how we feel and see this next step of what's going on in front of us, either with a will of yes or a doubt and a kind of hesitation of no. Now, if a man is looking at a woman and he's thinking, I'd really like to go and talk to her, but I don't know what to say, and maybe she's going to think I'm a loser, and I don't know how to deal with her attention, and, blah, blah, blah. And he might not even be consciously thinking those things in an extreme way, but he just knows that his body's like it just has this kind of like feeling, this flat feeling where it's like either it's so normal to just be the guy who doesn't take action and maybe doesn't even register her as somebody he can even talk to, that he's just going to like just glitch and just let her go. Or he's going to run this pattern of like wanting, not taking action, feeling ashamed, and then just being normal in that reality. And ultimately, why is that? Because he has a belief underneath all of that, that's what he deserves. He has a belief underneath his identity that that's normal and that's how he should act. Now, how is he going to change that belief? Well, he has to see, first of all, that he wants something different and that there is a possibility of something different actually happening. Now, the most obvious thing is he can just take action. He can just walk up and try to do something. And there's no harm in walking up to a woman and telling her that she looks great and you wanted to say hi. Now, it's probably not going to be a high probability of great success. But if you pull that trigger, let's say, that's what we call it, pulling the trigger, going in and being able to be assertive and to say yes to going and meeting a woman, then at least you learnt how to do that part of the action. And if you do that a number of times, and it's not even that many, to be honest, if you do that a number of times, especially if you did it, let's do it a decent amount of times. If you did that 100 times, you're never going to have that same problem again. You'll still have other layers of bottlenecks that are going to be challenges in the next steps of meeting somebody. But if you walk up and give a compliment, if you walk up and have a conversation based on an observation, if you create some type of bridge from who you were as the observer to who you are as the action taker and to see what happens, then you're directly showing your subconscious mind and you're directly contradicting your fear-based or insecure or non-permission layer belief that you take action, that you can do it, that if you see something you want, you can go for it. If you like a woman, you can go and talk to her. So the first thing is to confront the hesitation, to confront the insecurity, and to start to put yourself into a position of action. Now, we want to boil that down. Well, maybe you don't even know what to say to her, but you can walk towards her and you can look at her with the positive intent, with a warm intent, with a friendly intent, with an open intent, because at least that's part of the process too. So you want to start moving towards her, looking at her with warm intent. Don't have shame. Have a clear sense of interest that you want to let her know that you are interested in meeting her, because it's better to be somebody who's directly walking up to somebody and being obvious and clear and clean with your agenda and what you want than it is to be somebody that's coming in shy or undercover or has certain levels of pre-scripted types of like protection mechanisms, like you're just going to ask for directions, or you're going to ask for the time, or you're going to like talk to her about her dog or whatever. Now, those things have their place, but if that's your primary operating system, then it's kind of going to mess you up because you don't really have the ability to be a direct action taker. So you have to confront the fear and the insecurity that you have about taking action in the first place and start to do something about it. Now, building on that, obviously we want to have more than just the ability to go up and say, hey, you look really pretty and I wanted to come and meet you. And that's where most guys get to be honest. Like a lot of guys have insecurities. They go and watch a bunch of YouTube videos. They watch a bunch of RizCam. They watch a bunch of like pickup guys. And then they think like, okay, I just need to walk up to a girl and say, hey, you're really pretty. Can I get your phone number? Woo! Like, and that's it. And they think like that's like the game. Now, that's about 10% of the game. There's much, much more under the surface and much more capability that a man has. Now, seeing a woman that you desire, walking up to her, observing something, making a compliment, saying something interesting, saying something nice, saying something intriguing. Once again, just the same as we get exposed to social media constantly with hooks that attract our attention, that capture our attention. We need to think a little bit like, how are we going to hook her attention? She's in a trance, she's walking around shopping. She's coming home from work. She's going from A to B. She's got stuff on her mind. She's not thinking that she's just going to walk down the street and meet her next boyfriend. She's not expecting that. And in many ways, if she's pretty and she has a lot of choices, she might even be subconsciously defending against men that she sees as potential annoyances in her life because she has choice. At least she perceives she has choice. And this is one of these stupid things with these apps that we have these days. If she has the potential to swipe 1,000 men on Tinder and everyone's a match, in her mind, she thinks that she's a queen of the jungle. She thinks she owns everything. But in reality, it's all bullshit because, that most of those guys are actually probably not going to be real for her. Even if they are real for her, she still has to go through a whole lot of process of being able to get their attention and make it work. And even if she likes them, maybe that guy's got a lot of choices too, because if he's high profile and she's selecting him, well, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of women are selecting him and therefore he's the kind of guy who's getting a lot of swipes anyway. And therefore the whole thing's a bit of a breakdown of exchange. So why am I saying all that? Because when you're walking down the street and you see a woman, if you understand that the high probability is that if she's single, she's dissatisfied with the way the dating market's working for her. If she's single, she's probably not getting good results out of Tinder. Even if she's attractive and even if she gets a lot of swipes and even if she has a lot of guys validating her existence, she's probably still not getting actual masculine, feminine quality connection. She's probably still not being like turned on or charged or interested in a way that's intriguing to her, that's exciting to her. So as a guy that is learning to have better results with your social skills, in many ways you're being like, I call it becoming part of the social special forces, to be honest. You have to see
Wow.
yourself as being like you don't give a shit about the rest of what society says is possible because you hold yourself to a higher standard. You don't give a shit about what the traditional worldviews are about how you should or shouldn't do things. You hold yourself to the standard of the elite and you hold yourself to a standard of excellence and you just do things that are different because that's what gives you success. Because, if everybody walked around, if everybody in the special forces walked around pretending they were normal, they wouldn't be in the special forces. So we have to put ourselves to a sense of like power and purpose and authority and capability that's superior, not power over others, but power to be powerful inside of ourselves, to be able to create the impact that we want. So then we come back to like some very powerful skills, right? So let's really break this down. So we have 5 powerful gears, right? My co-founder in the Natural Lifestyles, he calls it the 5 principles. I have a different layer of these. It's like the 5 layers or the 5 gears, right? Now, first gear is to let her know that you want to meet her. And this is also the intent of coming in with awareness and coming in with a sense of really getting her attention and letting her know, hey, I'm here because I want to meet you. And that's over in no time. It's over in 5 seconds. It's over in 1 second. As soon as you're there, you're smiling and she sees you, that's first gear is basically taken care of. Second gear is then you want to give her some type of compliment, some type of interesting hook. And what do people generally hook on? People hook on subjects about themselves. People hook on subjects that are related to them feeling good or them feeling some type of impact. Now, generally, you don't want to walk up and say something too controversial unless you can do it with a good heart and a good smile, unless you can do it in a way that she feels safe. Because if you can say something that's controversial and it creates an emotional impact, but at the same time, it's not harmful, it's not hurtful, well, that's good. So something that has emotional impact, ideally something that's positive or something that's positively controversial that is getting her there. Now, that can be a compliment, that can be an observation, that can be some type of assumption about her. Now, number 3 is to start to actually connect with her if she's connecting back. Because you might get to, hey, I seen you, you look amazing and I wanted to meet you. And then you might find that she's non-responsive. She might be busy. She might be stressed. She might have a boyfriend. She might not know how to deal with your advances at that time because she's just not open to it. If she does not respond, if she does not give you a positive response, if she doesn't acknowledge your attempt to get her attention and to give her a compliment, well, you can wish her a good day and then you can move on. You can try maybe a second time if she doesn't clearly, blatantly tell you to go away. You can stay in there a little bit longer. You can be a bit more resilient. You can tell a story. You can do something to try to build a bridge to get her. But ultimately, level 3, the third gear, is about connecting. And connecting is about having some sense of like, I really want to get to know you. I really want to get to know you because I want to have a deeper sense of like who you are and how the world works in your world. So what are you up to? How's your day? And how does that make you feel? And why did you get into that? Now, you don't want to go into some deep like job interview type of script, but you want to get enough information so that you can understand who she is, what she's doing, and why is her world what it is at the moment. And ideally, what you really want to find out is she available? Is she single? Is she interested in meeting somebody? And your job is to then also talk about yourself, create a premise, a context of what it is that you're there for. Right. So this also comes into this idea of not only having emotional impact, but also having some sense of what we call pressure and release or push and pull, giving her something, taking something away, giving something, receiving something. So very important. You don't just go in and just blah, 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 and then expect something back. You have to go in and give a little bit, create a little bit of space, wait for her to respond. Also give a little bit about yourself. So she's got something to hold in her mind about who you are without necessarily feeling like she has to, she has to like fill in the gap, because a lot of guys believe if I walk up to a woman and I say she's pretty, then she should just do all the work. That's bullshit. Like, if you approach a woman, you have to do pretty much all the work until the point she feels comfortable and open, unless by some slim chance you walk up to her and she just happens to be a highly social, highly skilled communicator with a lot of emotional intelligence, and she just happens to be open and horny and loves you and wants to be in the moment with you. And then in that case, well, good luck. You just pulled the wild card, and that could be great. But that's not necessarily like a standard operation that you should expect. So you got to hold the ground. Talk to her, ask her how she's doing, share something about you. Your premise is that you're there for a good reason. You're there because you're an open person, you're a confident person, you're an expressive person, you're a curious person, you're an adventurous person. You want to give her some sense of some context, some story, some frame, some meaning that she can hold on to, that helps her brain recognize, okay, this guy's approaching me not because he's a creep, not because he's a weirdo, not because he's a sex pest, but because he's actually like this social special forces kind of guy. He's a romantic adventurer. He's a spiritual warrior. He's a cool guy. He's an interesting guy. He's an open guy. He's a friendly guy. And she wants to be around that. Now, this is the disarming phase as well. I mean, this is all various stages of social disarming. And it's not in a bad way, but we want to take the trance away from people. We want to get them to be awake. We want to get them to be real. We want to get them to feel connected to us in the world. So when you get somebody's attention and you give them a compliment, okay, you've done the first step. Now you got to go into the storytelling, build a premise, and go a little bit deeper. So